Hey everybody, welcome to episode 4 of season 2 of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program Duna or Bust. I should say, Duna or Bust is the title for Let's Play Kerbal Space Program season 2. Anyway, into the episode. Okay, we're about 2 minutes away from the burn. I know that this burn is actually going to be about a minute 47 is what it's saying. So we're going to go ahead and get facing our maneuver node. Minute 47 is 30 plus 20, 60, or 54. At T-minus 54, we're going to fire up our rockets. Or our rocket. Got one. T-minus 54. Here we go. See you later, Duna. It's been a blast. Get to the old calculator here. 230 divided by 1.6. It's giving us 143 seconds of fuel. Got 30 seconds to go. 195 divided by 1.6. There's our camera change, seeing we're leaving sphere of influence here. 185 divided by 1.6. 115 seconds of fuel left. I'm just going to go ahead and go full prograde. Kill the encounter. To the map. Let's see how this thing is looking. Okay, so any further burning is actually increasing the separation. All right. Next step, leave Duna's sphere of influence. That's what that gets down to. Okay, so there it is. There's Duna. Leaving it behind. There's the sun. Over here's Kerbal. Now we need to mess with our maneuvers to figure out what it's going to take to get a better intercept with Kerbal. If we go this way, is that better? Separation of 2 million kilometers. A little retroaction. Nope. How about this way? Yes, see, look at that. 28-second burn is what they're saying. Let's go ahead and reset this, though. I bet I can do better. Terrain. More like this. Retrograde. Encounter with Kerbal. If we zoom in here, that's a pretty good encounter. I'm going to leave that just like it is. I think that's good enough. 32 seconds. 153 divided by 1.6. 153 divided by 1.6. 95 seconds of fuel according to this thing. 32 seconds to get us an encounter. And then the rest we're going to adjust when we get closer. So, let's face this node. And again, I put that node out there as a point of reference. So what I'm really going to do is I'm going to do this burn right now, because the further I am away from where this encounter is, the more impact I have on it with less energy. Again, it's moving the end of that straight line as analogy that I've talked about. So here we are flying through curved space. We're actually flying in a straight line. Right now we're just bending where that straight line is going to be going. with a little bit of judicious fuel use here. We should have no problem in getting this encounter right where we want it. Then we can fine-tune for a gravity assist from the moon to help slow us down. And we are coming up. X, what happened? I bet now we want to go retrograde. Our orbit's too far on the outside. There we go. Was it orbit anti-radial that we were working with? No. Wait. No. Orbit radial. This scientist is going to come back with so much experience. So we're just moving around doing these maneuvers. I'll go ahead and burn a little bit longer. Back to retrograde. That seems to add some separation. Wonder what would happen if I faced, say this way. Wouldn't matter. Just making adjustments here to get this within Kerbin's sphere of influence. Then we can take a look at patched conics and fix it from there on a very fine scale. We're really close to getting an encounter. There's an encounter. Into patched conics. So we can see the actual periapsis come down from this. So now it's climbing. I'm going to try retrograde to see if that gets this periapsis down, which it does. Very little of this is doing that. And we're going to aim. Oh, now we need anti-radial. Bring this back in line. Maybe. Where is it? So this orbit is a little bit high on the plane. We can try an anti-normal plane change to see if that makes a difference. Which, yes, it does. It will help bring that down. We're coming in at an angle, and I don't think there's much we can do about that, but that's right. Okay, now, let's try retrograde. Radial, or, yeah, radial. Retrograde. So, you know, just little adjustments here and there make all the difference. Anti-radial. And there was something approaching a moon encounter. Retrograde. I think I want to just bring this into Kerbin pretty much. I can figure out a moon gravity assist at some other time. I just want this. Pretty much right there. Good enough for me. Okay. Let's go ahead and review all of our stored data, make sure there isn't anything else we want to transmit right now. Just in case this mission goes by terribly badly. But everything I can tell says that this is going to be perfect. So we're going to go ahead and warp. Let's get centered back on us. I don't want to warp to the sphere of influence. I want to warp to I want to warp to maybe here. So here we go. Our ship orbiting the sun, leaving Duna behind, which I can't even see anymore. It's a spot of light somewhere. 210 days of journey to go in deep space as our Kerbals return triumphantly from Duna on a home and transfer. Coming on in. We're warping as fast as we can. Once we get to our time warp spot, we're going to then adjust for Mooner gravity assist to slow us down and bring us into a Kerbal encounter. Stop. Okay, so here we are right now under this plane. Where's that moon? Let's start messing with some maneuvers and see what we can come up with. I mean, that right there is a Kerbal re-entry. I don't know how fast we're going with respect to Kerbal, though. And that's what makes me nervous. The question is, can I elicit the help of the moon somewhere? There's a Mooner encounter. Unfortunately, in this one, we'd be passing over the moon. And behind the moon. So what I want to do, let me zoom in on the moon here. This is going to be weird. What I want to do is I want the moon to slow me down. So what I need to have happen is I need to pass in front of the moon so that as it passes behind me, it acts as a brake. I don't think we're catching the moon at the right spot. What this really gets down to. Okay, in that case, let me skip all this. What's our periapsis right now at Kerbal? In that case, all we really need to do is point radial. And plan for a high altitude capture. So we're orbit radial. I just want a little dusting off the top. I'm willing to take multiple orbits if I need to, or hit the brakes manually. So we know that 30 is full re-entry. 35 is hot. I will aim for 40 and see how that goes. we're going to point anti-radial and get this periapsis to arrow braking height, which I think a good height for that might be 45 kilometers. When we hit the sphere of influence, we can make other changes if we need to hit the brakes, slow us down. But I'm going to try 45 kilometers. Quick save that. Is going to be a little tight, but we'll do another fix when we get in closer. So let's warp here. I'm going to go ahead and bring our orbital velocity down. Maybe about 100 meters per second, or 150 meters per second. And then adjust where my orbit is going to be hitting Kerbal, so that we actually end up with a periapsis. Oops, too far. I want a periapsis at 45 kilometers. It's not going to bring us into full re-entry or anything. I think it's touchy. Good enough. Quick save that. But hopefully that will be sufficient for an arrow brake. Get ourselves facing prograde. Let's go ahead and warp to here. Okay, we need to retract our panels. Pull out the brakes and get ready. Oh, we might be in trouble. These things are overheating already. Yeah, we're going to have to be reloading. Dang it. Maybe. No, well, who knows? We'll see. We are bleeding off plenty of speed, though. Things are getting too hot. We're going to blow up. Well, we are hitting the brakes. We're in orbit now. Dove too deep. Maybe. I'd be amazed if this stuff survives. Wow. That was minimum altitude. We're now coming out of minimum altitude. Climbing up. So that was basically max heating. Things are beginning to cool off. There you have it. 45 kilometers. I'd say from interplanetary, aim for 50. That'll be more than sufficient to bring you into an orbit. Aim for 50 a few times. Let yourself go around a time or two, and it's going to be hunky-dory. Especially with the air brakes. Now the problem is we have to wait till our next orbit before we can actually come back in and stuff like that. So, but yeah. That was all fine. We'll be in space soon enough. At which time we can fast forward around another loop and get ourselves ready for landing. Keeping my air brakes out. Yep, things are cooling off. And we're now in space. Which means it'll take things a little while to radiate off heat because there isn't an atmosphere to help with. But let's go ahead and warp around again. Make this loop. As our ship comes around. we just go through the whole procedure again. We're still picking up velocity because we're heading towards the periapsis, but very soon we will be slowing down with our air brakes. As we hit that 45, 40, 40, whatever. Okay, here we're starting to heat up again. Cycle 2 of re-entry. This one will be much more gentle, and it will probably be enough to actually bring us all the way back down to the atmosphere with these with these brakes out. As our ship heats up a little bit again, we are bleeding off speed like crazy. A little interplanetary mission. Our goo canisters, if they blow up, I'm not overly worried. I would like to keep this one, though. But the solar panels can go so long as we have parachutes ready to deploy. Keep us safe. We're burning off speed at a nice quick rate now. We can see our periapsis is coming down quite quickly. We haven't reached our apoapsis yet. Or our apoapsis is coming down. We haven't reached our periapsis yet. After all this time, a trip out to Duna and back. And Kerbal Space Program 1.0.4. I have no idea what episode this is. But, we're climbing back up again. Do we need to make another lap? So I'm fine with actually making multiple laps more than anything else. We have plenty of electrical charge. I'm not worried about that. And if really needed to, popping back out into space, I could open up a solar panel and get some power back. But according to this, we're generating some. Oh, no, we're using some. Okay. But we're climbing up out of this atmosphere, it looks like. Maybe. Just maybe. We're still slowing down, though. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. We're just kind of climbing out of here. Bringing this apoapsis down slowly but surely. I wonder, since this is a lifting surface, what if I push down on this? It seems like it might be helping. Yeah, this is not... We're not going to leave the atmosphere at this point. I don't think. We are definitely not leaving the atmosphere anymore. There it is. Unsafe to deploy parachutes right now, but that's all right. So we're just going to keep on keeping on here. I'll go ahead and accelerate time. Shouldn't need to do that. I'm going to let this tail dragger, I mean, it's a tail dragger. It's going to drag. Okay, this is our last final dive into the atmosphere. I don't really need SAS. This thing's going to drag itself in nose first. How about that? We're still coming in, you know, kind of fast, but no faster than a Mooner re-entry would be. And we've come in nice and shallow, so hopefully these goo canisters will survive. As we just head in from interplanetary whatevers. Looks like our parachutes are heating up a little bit. But we are fully hitting the brakes now. And what I can do is I can actually... This whole ship is a lifting body, so we can actually sort of apply some lift to shallow out our glide angle. There we go. We've survived re-entry. All we need to do is to wait for the signal that it's safe to deploy our chutes. Get rid of the air brakes. Man, we're high. We're coming in so slow and we're so high. Wow. That's really awesome. These air brakes are great. Still risky to deploy less chutes. Safe. And it is now safe to deploy, but we're actually quite high for that. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'll let the air brakes keep on doing their job. We are plunging down 10,000 meters. Air brakes slowing us down as we dive straight for the ocean. I think now's a good time to turn off the brakes. And deploy the chutes. Let them drogue. If I wanted to do any more... so this parachute arrangement is pretty good. If I needed to do any more balancing, I could move some fuel, say from here to here. In fact, I might do that. Just to change my center of mass. That changes my center of mass to be more front heavy, which is bad. So we'll go back. We're coming down nice and slow, 50 meters per second. We are a mere 50 meters away from splashdown now. Returning with however much science this is, it's probably hundreds. I know it's hundreds. Stable splashdown. Everything's looking good. Let's go ahead and recover. I wonder. Hang on. I wonder. Okay. Yeah, I've done this one. Have we done these on the ocean? I don't care. Recover the vessel. And that is it. Let's go through this summary really quick while we fast forward time. Mystery goo observation while in space, high over the sun. Atmospheric pressure scan while in space, high over the sun. Temperature scan while in space, high over the sun. Mystery goo observation while in space, high over Duna. Atmospheric pressure scan while in space, high over Duna. Temperature scan while in space, high over Duna. Mystery goo observation while in space near Duna. Atmospheric pressure scan while in space near Duna. Atmospheric pressure scan while in space, high over Ike. Temperature scan while in space near Duna. Temperature scan while in space, high over Ike. Atmospheric pressure scan while in space near Ike. Temperature scan while in space near Ike. Mystery goo observation while in space near Ike. Atmospheric pressure scan while in space near Duna. Mystery goo observation while in space near Duna. And a temperature scan while in space near Duna. And lastly, recovery of a vessel from a flight over Duna. 60 science. We received 6,000 funds back, and of course our contracts and things like that gave us more funds, so we have 389,000 funds now. Our crew has gained 24 and 26 experience respectively. Valentina and Andra are now level 4 and 3. And that is going to do it for this series of episodes. As the sun comes overhead, We find ourselves on a new day, ready to spend our cumulative total of 1,552 science. Until next time, thanks for watching, and remember, while it is rocket science, it's not that hard. Goodbye!